All right, hey guys, welcome back to the Twitch stream. Yeah, just going to keep working on this interior environment, and like I said to you guys in the previous couple of weeks, if you want to watch back the past weeks of this starting, then you can definitely check that out on the CDW Studios YouTube page. Last time I streamed, it was a little bit slow because I was going to do a few things, but then Photoshop wasn't working. So got Photoshop back working this week. And let me just close down my Slack. Got Photoshop back working this week. So we'll try and do a few kind of cool, like 2D mixed with 3D kind of little workflows, all right? So before I kind of get to that, I want to make up some little railings because I think that'd be pretty cool for this scene. So just some railings that we can kind of put around the edges and make the space feel a little bit more functional. And then we're going to kind of work on the floor and stuff like that. All right. So let's kind of get into that. And like always, if you guys got any questions, just please let me know, and I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. So let's go back into my little props file. So remember I said that sometimes I just find making a separate little file for my props is really useful. Just stops me from getting too overwhelmed in the scene with what's going on and actually kind of like designing stuff. So what I want to do is make up some little railings. So I think we can do this relatively quickly. And we're going to do this using like the curves method I showed you for the pipes. And we can, we'll work on all the pipe details and all those things as well. So let's just go Shift A, curve, Bezier curve. Oh, let's undo that. Shift right click on our cube just so it's going to make the curve there. Otherwise we're chasing it around the screen. So Shift A, curve, Bezier curve, we're going to tab in, we're going to delete, dissolve vertices. All right. And we're just going to go to the draw option and we're going to come into here to the tool. We're going to make that on the surface. We're going to come down here to the little green icon, and in geometry, just change that to like 0.05 and like, let's just draw something and see what that is. Okay, so let's make it something like that. Okay, very good. So let's just come down here, make it so it's kind of like front on, and then we're just going to kind of work on a bit of a design here. So I'm just going to draw this out. There, 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 something like that. All right, and that's going to be my kind of railing. Now let's kind of fix it. All right, so what I'm going to do is just go into the move and just delete dissolve vertices for all the ones that we don't need. All right, so just where the points are connecting, that's where I want them. So it's pretty good. All right, and then I'm just going to click on these points, all right, and just get them so they make a bit more sense. All right, try and get these straight. So that is pretty good. All right. I just hit G, just kind of move those around. Sometimes if you just sort of pull them in as tight as possible, then it would just give you like a nice little right angle there. It's pretty good. Let's move that one in there. Try and get that more of a right angle there. Just tidy all that up. Just a little bit of fiddling around, but it's pretty quick, right? So once I've got that here, then we can tab out and just move this around here. Right, and then I've got sort of a little railing piece, right, which is pretty quick to do. We could keep it curved, we could make it more planar. It just depends on, you know, kind of what you want to do, but I think that's pretty cool like that. So I'm just going to come on here and let's make sure the resolution's kind of set to 4. You could tone that down. Every time I tone it down, it's going to make it look a little bit more janky every time, but you don't want to go too high, otherwise you've just got tons and tons of you know, kind of vertices and points that you don't really need. So let's just right click on that and convert to mesh. All right, and then if I tab in, you can see the points have gone, and now it's just like mesh, right? So that's pretty cool. And like I said, if there's something that's really in the background, you could change that resolution to like 2 or 1, and then convert it to mesh, and then yeah, it'll then that'll be a bit more kind of like usable, right? So what else? Let's we want, like, the railing can't just be floating, so we've got to have some sort of like little endpoints or whatever, some bits kind of holding that up. So I'm just thinking about what they are going to be. So let's go Shift A, mesh cylinder, right, and reduce that down. All right. So you just have it so it sort of fits just in here nicely. Something like that. And then we want it going into the ground. All right, because that's going to hold up that rail there. So something like that. And then Shift D, escape. And just thinking about whether we want another little rail like there or something. I think that would be pretty cool. Let's just try and get that to connect in. So what I might do is just move all of this down, right? Just so we can actually get it going into the ground. So I'm not making up where I think the ground is. All right, let's move that one down. So maybe just, sorry, should have scaled that first, right? How's everyone going? It's been a bit of a crazy day here in Adelaide. It's sunny, then raining, then absolutely pouring, and then sunny again. Keep taking my jacket off about 20 times. Jacket on, jacket off, jacket on, jacket off. So, yeah. All right. So what I want to do is just click on these, go Control J, and join all of those together. All right. So then we can do something like this, where we can Shift D, escape, Control M, and then Y. We could flip that, and then we could sort of start having our railings or whatever that are kind of doing something like this, right? So you can see how quickly you can make up those little pieces, which is really cool. And we could sort of have them going around, you know, like maybe we got some corner pieces. I'm not sure. Anyway, might just kind of do it. We'll see. We'll just see how that's going to go. So what I might do is, let's show you a cool little trick as well. I'm going to go to my references and let's get like a metal texture. Maybe something like this one. All right. And I am going to bring that to Photoshop. Just crop this down. In actual fact, let's just, whatever, we'll try this first. All right, I'm just going to save this out. Save on my computer. Okay. Folder. Textures. Don't need that as a Photoshop file. Oh, what's going on? Hey. Hang on, let's just save that as a Photoshop file first. Image mode. I don't know why that's not letting me save it as a JPEG, but anyway, let's just flatten it, see what that does. Okay. Weird. All right, let's just save that. All right, let's go back into Blender, into the props, and let's just kind of texture this quickly. And we want to make this railing like a yellow color or something, right? So let's come in here and let's do a new material. New material. All right, let's go into the shader editor. Let's hit Control T. All right, and we want to open up our texture. Yay. Then we've got our sort of metal texture here, but it's not working super well at the moment. So we just tab in. We're going to hit L on everything, make sure it's all selected, and then hit U and then go cube projection. All right, and that should sort of project all of that a little bit better on there. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Let's try that other one, maybe. Let's try this. Let's try this. I just don't want that dark bit down there. Actually, yeah, maybe this is like a bad... Maybe this is a bad idea. Maybe. Actually, I had another metal texture, didn't I? Let's call this metal texture number 2. Trial and error. See how this goes. We want to try with this one here. Let's tab in, U, cube projection. Still being really like stretched. Hang on. I feel like that didn't actually change that. Hang on. Let's delete these guys. Let's hit Control T. Tab in, U, cube projection. Maybe we need to do these bits individually. Let's have a look. Oops. U, cube projection. It's looking better. L, U, cube projection. Oops. All right, and then can do this stuff too. Let's try this as like a box. Sometimes that will look better. Nah. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to come in here. So rather than necessarily making this texture like a different color or whatever, let's just do it through the nodes, which is a bit easier. So let's go Shift A, Hue, Saturation. Alright, and then let's just try and change this. So let's get some more saturation in there, maybe. Maybe not going to work. Seems so easy at the time. Oh, we're getting there. All right, whatever, fine, be like that. What do we want to do? Let's get back into Photoshop. And let's just do it like this. Maybe try this as probably color like that, but I kind of, this is getting a bit intense, right? Because I don't want the rail to feel like it's completely like paint's peeling off everywhere, right? So let's just try and tone this back a bit in here, and I think this will be useful. So image adjustments, brightness, contrast. All right, let's just try and tone that contrast down. Yeah, better. That's pretty cool. And just make it something like that. All right, so we're going to save this as, oh, not like that, we're not. Let's call this 3 yellow. Maybe this metal texture is just like super low res as well. That's why it's looking kind of funky when I project it. Hang on. Let's just try and find a better one, hey? Sorry, 1 second. Well, I'm just going on Google to find a metal texture. Let's do it as like this one. Sorry, loading up metal texture. Oh, what did I do? Oh. All right. Take 2. All right, so that to color. All right, let's go image adjustments, brightness, contrast. Turn our contrast down so it looks a bit more like a, you know, a painted sort of metal. Down there somewhere. All right, let's try this again. Oops, merge that down. Yes. Hang on, just because I got this one close that deck. All right. All right. Let's see if this gives us some better result here. Let's delete that. Plug that back into the color. All right. Yeah, cool. Okay. That's interesting to know. So I think that just the fact that other image I used was pretty low res, that was not helping things. Okay. So that's pretty cool. So then we could do the Shift A, search, use saturation, right? And then you can kind of muck around where, you know, like how much saturation you want, you know, how light do you want this thing, and all those types of things, right? But I probably want to see what this looks like in the scene before I kind of decide on those things too much, right? So let's just grab this one, shift click on that one, Control L, and link those materials. And am I going to join this together? I'm not sure. Let's actually keep these as separate, I think, for right now. So it's Control C. So just copy them across. I'm going to put them into the scene. All right, and just paste them in. Where did they go? Over here. All right, click, set origin, set mask surface. All right, and let's start moving these around. All right, so let's maybe hide some stuff here. Hide some walls and things, just so it's easier to see. Oh, hang on, I know what happened there. There you go. Both of you. Okay, so once again, this is one of those things that I find like students tend to do, right? Is we're gonna focus on the scale, right? We're gonna get these things in relation to the people. So at the moment, they feel really big compared to this guy here, right? Like they're bigger than the person. So the rails, you know, we're holding onto them. They're kind of like hip height sort of thing, right? So I just want to make sure it's kind of going into the ground, and that can be relatively arbitrary. But yeah, let's try and get that scale working pretty good. All right. So, yeah. I think that's sort of about the right scale for that. Maybe a tiny bit bigger. Okay. And then we can just move these around the place. Now just working out where I'm going to put these. Hey Josh, how you going? Busy at work? Oh, that's exciting. Okay, so let's just go Shift D, escape. You know, maybe we got like a little gap in there. Then you got to start to be like, okay, how do they fit here? Shift D, escape. So this is why I didn't join them together, because I was like, well, probably sometimes not going to need those ones. Right, so we get that, these ones here. All right, let's get to the front mode here. Shift D, escape. Let's put these. So I might want that kind of just outside of this kind of control panel here. All right, so maybe these ones need to just move around a little bit too. Just be a little bit wider. here somewhere. Just looking at the measurement between here and here. Try and get that sort of the same. Because I moved those ones. Alright. Pretty cool. Alright, let's grab these ones again. Shift E, escape. Let's move that over there. Now, look at all this. And I had this all organized, didn't I? Let's get rid of the roof there. Get back to the top. Alright, hit the letter R, 90 on your keyboard. Alright, G, and then we can just move these around as well. Alright, once again, probably don't need two of them. Let's go with one there. Grab that one, Shift E, escape. Maybe go back to the top here. Just move that over there. Try and get the same sort of amount of gap. All right, cool. And let's grab, I'm just going to grab these here for the time being. Shift E, escape. And just move one down here somewhere. Start to getting that sit into the ground. All right, Alt H, unhide everything. Go to my fog. Just hide that there. Okay, cool. Now what I'm going to do is, like, let's work on the floor and let's do some of the floor stuff in Photoshop as well, because I think that could be pretty cool. So the way I'm going to do that is like a little bit differently again. So we just need to hide some stuff. All right, I'm going to hide the roof and let's hide the walls. Okay, and I'm just going to go to the sort of top view. And I'm just going to do a screenshot, very technical. Let's grab all these for a second. Hide those. Let's hide person, and I'm just going to come in here and tab. And we're going to go L. Hang on. Sorry. Fix this up properly first. Let's go P by loose parts. Tab out and delete all this stuff. Oops, not that, that. Oh, how many of those we got? Hide that. Oops. Apparently got 10 million of these here. Okay. Or H. Ugh. Let's hide all these, get back to the top. Oops. Okay. Let's get this as much into view as possible. Very technical stuff here. Now, just got to think about this because we're gonna do this. But anyway, Alright, so let's go Alt print screen. Go to Photoshop. Alright, and then we've got our kind of top view of our ground here. Just going to transform this and make it a little bit bigger. Let's recrop this. I'm just gonna image, just flip it up. Okay, and now I've got like a whole bunch of photos that I kind of collected earlier, and I'm just gonna start almost like kind of kit bashing, photo bashing, kind of like the ground as like just a texture that we can project down onto the ground here. So what I might do first of all is, what do I want to do first of all? The thing is, like, these are different pieces of geo, so these are sitting on top. So we don't really need to texture these, right? So kind of what I think I might do here is actually just cover them up. I'm just going to do it on a new layer. Just something like that. However, this is not too, I don't have to be too stressed out about this, but I'm going to start working on a bit of a design in a minute. So, did have those bits there. So what I'm going to do is just a new little symmetry tool here. So vertical. Because some of there, I've messed up some of that along the way. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter for now. All right, so let's do. What do we want to do? All right. So I'm just going to draw in here for a second. Hit F5, turn off shape dynamics. Oops. Why is that not quite working? Anyway, it doesn't matter, whatever. It will be fine. All right, so let's go back into kind of 2D mode. Let's make that a little bit higher. We're going to delete all these lines later, so it doesn't matter too much. All right. So let's do something like that. And let's make some, you know, fun sci-fi shapes here. Not quite in the middle, which will bug me, but I'll fix all that later. Okay, so we've got that. Let's grab one of these. Ugh. Sorry, got like auto select on. Turn that off. Okay. Let's flip this vertical. How'd you move? Oops. And with this stuff here, like, I just like to sort of build it up, right? So we'll just start with like a little drawing just to design it out, and then yeah, can kind of keep just creeping up on what you kind of want to do. See, I want to have that angle kind of similar. Right, and anytime I can get rid of like a little crink sort of detail, like I would choose to do that as well. So these will be like little floor paneling kind of changes, right? So let's do something like that. Then let's bigger one, and we can sort of have like a smaller one at the end here. All right, something like that. Haven't, just like I said, haven't worked it all out yet. Just you know, just getting there. All right, so let's go and start adding in some textures to some of this, right? So this is what I do quite a lot, is like I could texture it and do it in Blender, like, and split everything up and do things like that. But a lot of times I like to just make an image in Photoshop and then kind of like just slap that onto the big area in Blender, which is pretty cool. So let's try and work out what we want to do here. You know what? Let's use that one from before. All right, and let's throw this one down here. And before I do this, let's maybe just want to make this a little bit bigger, right? This is also like really important too. Like, you've got to control how big the scale is. Like, if you think about it, if I throw this texture in, which we've used on kind of the rails, even the texture has a certain scale to it, right? So with this here, I might want to even make it quite a bit smaller. Let's go image, adjustments, brightness, contrast, give it a bit more of that contrast back that it had. Because as it gets smaller, you can kind of get away with some of that. Control J, Control T, flip vertical, Control E, Control J, Control T, flip horizontal. But yeah, I find this part really, really fun. And I might even just transform that down again. Control J, Move it down here. Join it up there. Control E. All right, let's put this down here. Okay, so it's something like that. I'm just going to go back to Blender. We don't need that anymore. Let's go Alt H. Turn that fog off, but we can bring all this stuff back. Go to the camera. All right, let's go back into here. And let's sort of see what else we want to have. Let's break up some of these textures just a touch. All right, so let's go into here. Add in this sort of texture. Let's go image adjustments, brightness, contrast. And just tone that contrast down a bit just so it doesn't look crazy detailed, right? So it's just a bit more kind of subtle. And then I want to kind of work out, like, let's make this one here, Control M, let's make this like a little bit darker, right? And then this part here is like a lighter one. Oops. Hey. This part here. All right, so then what I'm going to do is let's sort of just do this once on one side. So let's grab that one, let's go Control J, let's move that down here, stick that layer underneath there, merge that down. Oops, and wrong, merge the wrong ones together. Okay. That layer underneath, you know, and then I can go in here and sort of erase out just so we don't get this line here. We've got a line in the other one, that's all right, but we just don't want the same lines everywhere. Okay, let's merge that down, and then let's just start going in and cutting these out, right? So, oops. So, you know, slightly. What is going on there? We'll just go in and make these shapes. Slightly painful, you know, just going around with the lasso tool, but it's pretty quick once you get going with it. All right, Control Shift I, delete, and then we've got those there. Now, what we can do is, rather than having our, you know, crappy line work over all of this, which we'll sort of keep, but you know what we should do first is let's duplicate this, Control J, Control T, flip horizontal. Right, move that across, and there's obviously like a bit of work in setting this up, but once you get it kind of working the way you want, it's pretty cool. So let's merge these layers down, and I can actually double click on these layers, right? And it brings up this layer style box. And then what we can do is we can maybe do like a bit of a, let's do maybe a stroke, right? And make that maybe 3 is too much, 2. All right, but let's tone it back so it's not like a really super heavy duty black, right? And then we could do like a little bevel and emboss here, and maybe it's down. And hang on, I'm just going to fiddle around with these things for a second. Oops. Just double click it. I'll go back into it. Right, just something like that. We can start getting those things looking a bit kind of, you know, 3D-ish with some of those layer tools, layer effects, which is really cool. And then I can also, you know, we can keep sort of like drawing and painting. If I just hide that, no, where is it? Maybe we could just add in some little, oops. Some little darker kind of sections here. Just reduce the opacity a bit. Right, so it kind of doesn't look too crunchy. Transform that, flip it horizontal. Yeah, and you see how you can really get in here and you can make stuff look pretty cool, and then we can just almost slap it on the model and make all that kind of work as well, which is pretty cool. All right, let's go back down to here. So this part here, let's do like some kind of hazard strips and keep clear business and all that kind of thing. Should be pretty cool. Let's have a look. We've just got some little decals and things. We'll use some of them, but I'll make some other bits and pieces up. So got this here. Let's paste this in. Now, just trying to think, what do I want to do with this design element here? So we want to do some text here. Make this black. Maybe something like that. Duplicate that. Flip it vertical. Down here, I'm going to transform this part. Maybe this might be too painful to know. Hold on, I'm just trying to work out a decent way to do this. Let's duplicate that. Just deleting it. Just make it so they keep clear bits like outside of that. And you know what? Let's make that little hazard strip bit slightly different. Slightly different. Let's hide that original one. Let's do that one like that and like that. Come on. I thought it might be cool if these are like sort of slightly different sizes. Something like that, and then we can do a little box around that. And just deleting bits. Alright, cool. That's pretty cool. And then let's just hide that little line work layer again and do the same sort of thing here. So that's that layer. So let's grab that, double tap on it. Come on, and then we'll do the stroke like that, and then we'll do the bevel and emboss. And let's make it like that. You can see how instantly it gives it this sort of like 3D feeling to it, which is cool. Same thing. Let's go stroke and bevel and emboss. All right, it's pretty cool. Okay, now you can even do stuff like this if this brush was working properly, which is super annoying. Why is brush tip? Why are you doing this to me? So. No, that's not gonna make a difference. Why is this just not a like straight edge thing? Anyway, we can do it with the line tool as well. Sorry. Why is it going thick to thin? There's always something. All right, let's get in here. Line tool. All right. Check pixels. So I reckon if we do it on this layer here, right? Let's see. Right. Let's see what we can do here. You can like draw with the bevel and emboss, right? Which is pretty cool. Now what I want to do is let's just go Control J. So I've got that, and let's go Control A, delete everything that's on that layer. So now basically I've got this layer with the hazard strip stuff, but there's nothing on that layer anymore, right? I'm doing that because I want to kind of duplicate it afterwards without the hazard strip on there. Anyway, makes sense a bit. Oops. And it'd be nicer if I could use the brush tool, but get the idea. All right, maybe just like that. Just trying to go just inside that line. And do another fill in there. And then maybe we could do triangles, hard to do. Ugh. Do that well. Okay, as well. Oops. around this. Can actually make the line like really quite thick. Right, and then we can just add a few little layers of complexity around here. Just trying to get that width right. Right, and the other thing I could do is we grab this layer down here. What do we call this? Let's call this details. Oops. Right. Right. Let's grab this layer down here, right? Grab this layer down here and let's duplicate that layer. And put this above the details, so we've got that. Let's just move it a little bit just so it's not super repetitive, and then hold down Control in between, sorry, Alt in between those layers, and then that's going to mask that onto there. And then we can maybe set this to like say multiply. Well, maybe not multiply, maybe overlay. There we go. And now we've got that like texture on top of there as well, right? That's pretty cool. And then what we could do is just grab both of those layers and merge them together, and it just creates that one layer, and then Control J, Control T, and flip horizontal. And now I've got all of that. We can move it kind of over there as well. Right, pretty cool. And then we can keep just adding the details as you would like to. I'm just going to duplicate that layer again, right? Control A, backspace. All right, this deletes everything that's in that layer, but still lets us have the bevel and emboss. Alright, so we can kind of do some stuff like that. That. All right, and then, oops, sorry, pressing wrong keys. What am I pressing? Don't know what I'm doing. Hang on, save. Save as. Let's put this floor texture. What did I do? I don't know what I did. Press some keys and now I can't do anything. Let's close that down. Very good. All right. Now what I want to do is let's play around, keep playing around with like kind of the texture of stuff. let's maybe in some areas add in some like metal grating, which could be pretty cool. First of all, let's just duplicate this layer here. So Control J, Control T, flip horizontal. All right, let's put it over that side. Move. Okay, there somewhere. Okay, let's go Control V, and I've got another little texture. Right, transform. Remember the scale. If we put it in here, it looks weird. Right, so at that kind of scale. So let's make that half of this. No, let's make it even smaller. Yep, even smaller. All right, pretty cool. You can see even if even as I do that, that starts looking kind of better, right? Just in terms of how this fits in the scene. So then let's kind of use this duplicate. So Control J will duplicate, and let's sort of start putting it around the scene. So let's put it down under here somewhere, wherever that was. Put it down there. Right, and let's just say it fits under this little pattern bit. No, like that, whatever, goes there. Alright, Control J, Control T, flip horizontal. I could even like just do the whole thing, right, and then just flip everything later on. Oops, I just moved all that, didn't I? Okay, pretty cool. Let's grab that one. Control J. Move it down here. All right, put it down under these layer 7s. This goes here. Control J. Control T. Flip horizontal. Just join those up. A bit painful there. Control E. M. All of the shortcut keys. Control Shift I, delete. Control J. All right, move that across. And let's go. Oops. Go back to this layer. All right, I just want to keep that one just separate. Control J. All right, Control J, V for move. All right, Control T, flip horizontal, flip them. All right, Control E, merge that down. Sorry for all the shortcuts, everyone. And then we could do a similar thing, right? Where we're gonna go double click on this layer. All right, blending options. We wanna have that stroke. Oh, no, what did I do? Why is that going around the middle there? Must have a selection. Maybe? Let's have a look. Huh, weird. I've never seen it do that before in my life. Okay, why are you being like that? Maybe there's a slight little line down there. Doesn't look like it. Oh well. Okay. Let's try it now. Stroke. Yeah, that's better. Okay, bevel and boss. Cool. Okay, so we've got that. Put all that wherever we want it. I'm just going to transform this down like 95%. No, 90, 98. Yep. Perfect. Like cut out a little, you know, sci-fi shape gappy thing there. Let's cut off that. Cut off that. Oh, come on. All right, pretty cool. Just gonna go into here. Control M. Just make this just like a bit more intense. Control M. Sweet. All right. Just having a look at my sketches and my references and things, other little ideas. You can even like, I mean, you can start going crazy, right? Like let's get back to this one here. Let's go Control J, Control A, backspace, Control D, and you can, oops, apparently not do that in the right spot. Let's put this layer up here. Oh, what did I just do? Hit the wrong button. Uh-oh. What? Yeah. Too dark. It's just the that's better. Let's do that with just slightly darker where it was before. Yeah, so I can even do this sort of stuff, right? Where I'm just literally painting with the bevel and emboss turned on. And then you can do all your little sci-fi bits to all of this stuff. All right, but all I'll do is I'll do that because we can, you know, you can kind of, you can go around doing this stuff for ages, right? Which is pretty cool. But let's sort of throw it back in and see how it's starting to look, just so you can test it and see if that's what you want to do. I mean, I think it's what you want to do, but you can work that out for yourself. Yeah. I'm just holding shift to make those lines, oops. Holding shift to make those lines go straight. So I'm just painting and I'm just shift clicking, right, to get those diagonals. I can paint, shift click, whatever you need just to get that to work. Alright. Sci-fi details. Anyway, you get the idea, but I did that with the symmetry tool turned on, right? So then it kind of worked everywhere, right? So anyway, let's just save this and let's just see how it's looking and then we'll go from there, right? Sorry, quick drink. All right, let's go save as and call this floor texture. Oh, why is this doing this to me? Flatten image. All right. Yes. Okay. Okay. So now we've got that as a. Oh, just want to save that. This. Okay. Whatever. All right. Let's go back here. So let's turn stuff off again. What do we want turned off? The walls and the roof. All right. Okay, so it's on this box here. All right, so we just want to kind of like texture this box here, and I'll sort of show you a different, like slightly different way of doing this. And we're probably gonna have to flesh this out more, but let's see how it looks for now, right? So, what do we need to do? Let's go back to the shade editor. All right, let's unlink this material. And then we're going to come in here and we are going to find the right thing. Dry hayfield is the image. Why? Because I'm in world view. Let's get an object. All right, let's get an object. I'm like, what's going on? All right, Control T. Open textures. What do we call it? Floor texture. This one. Open image, and then what we want to do, right, is what do we want to do? Because, all right, let's just tab into here. You know what we might want to do is not do it quite like that, because otherwise I'm going to have all this stuff on the side and we're going to kind of UV project all that. So let's undo that, undo. Just delete that. We don't need any of that. Okay. Now let's put like a material in a material. Okay. So let's go. So we've got this box selected, which our floor is going to sit on. We do a new material here. All right. Actually, did I unlink? Yeah, I did. Okay. So new material here, and then we just go new material. All right, and then we do the same sort of thing. So we just click on this, go Control T. All right, and then we're gonna add our image into this here. So floor texture. All right, so that's gonna go into there. Now, nothing's going to happen, right? But what we wanna do is we wanna tab into this box here, and on the front face, like here, we wanna assign this material to this face. So we just basically click on this material, and I might call this like floor details. All right, and then let's click assign. All right, and then when we click assign, you can see that it's doing stuff, right? It's applying that texture onto that face. And you can already see it's looking cool, even though it's, you know, doesn't make any sense there. So let's go back to the top mode like this, right? And now I did it upside down. Oops. And then let's go U, and instead of doing Q projection, let's go project from view. All right, project from view, and it's going to do this. And then what we can do is we can come down here and we change this from the shader editor to the UV editor. And when we zoom out, you can see this UV editor is like doing this, right? So what it's saying is it's basically like mapping, it's getting a bounding box around it. It's just mapping that bit of the texture onto that face. But we want this to cover like everything, right? So what we need to do is we just need to come down here, right? And we need to hit A, which will select everything. So A will select everything. Then we go S, right? And when we get that bounding box all kind of like lined up. Right now, we have to make sure, because I did this upside down, right? So we need to rotate this, rotate 180, right? And then I just flipped it 180 degrees. And then this keep clear bit's going to be near the end here, which is cool. That's what we want. So, but A, G for move. Let's like kind of line all this up. G. So we just want this at the front. All right, and we want that. Remember, I wanted my like geo here to like kind of fit in the middle of all of that. But yeah, obviously we've got stuff going on here that we're gonna need to fix. All right, but let's have a look. Let's rotate this around, and you can see there that this is basically like projected this texture onto here, which like looks really cool, right? So yeah, and then you can kind of go nuts. You know, you can go nuts, as in adding geo on the top, you know, painting more textures in that you want, adding textures onto, you know, various bits and pieces. So for example, if I add in like edge loops and things into here, I can actually project onto the faces and things, right? So yeah, which is really cool. So for example, like I could cut, if I wanted a hazard strip to like run down here, I could just add in some edge loops, get it to, you know, the way I want, and then you basically just add a new material, assign it, and you can put, yeah, so you can either put materials onto whatever faces you want. You can design it up in Photoshop so it fits onto what you want. Like there's just heaps of ways to do it, right? Which is pretty cool. And then what we can do is, so let's unhide all this. So Alt H and go back into the camera. All right, you can see how this is starting to look. All right, where we've got, yeah, all of these details in here, right? Which is pretty cool. Now, you know, I might want to add, we might need to work out how to get, you know, how to maybe put it onto here as well. I'm not sure. Let's try that first. Or the other thing is I could make these steps kind of go up. Let's maybe do that. I'll show you what I mean. Just sort of do it a bit more like that. Right, so that these sort of fit into there. But it's pretty powerful what you can do. And then what we could also do on here, right, is what are we going to do? Let's go back into here. Let's go into this material. Let's go into the shade editor and add a little bump to this. Just very subtle. Shift A, search, bump. Alright, let's plug the color into the height and the normal into the normal. Alright, and it's going to go a bit crazy. Alright, a bit crazy. But let's like tone this back a bit. So let's make the strength like 0.3. And then we can play around with the distance and the strength. Oops, not what I wanted. Too much. Yeah, you just got to play around with this a little bit just to get that to feel right. But yeah, you can play around with the bump with that as well, right? Which is pretty cool. Yeah, and then you can start, you know, adding more bits of geo and all that on top, whatever you kind of want to do. Which yeah, it's pretty cool. You gotta like kind of that roof. You gotta make sure that like all the scale is working and everything. You gotta make sure everything feels like it's in the middle. Some of these bits don't. Yeah. What else? I feel like I'm gonna I'll keep fixing these pieces and stuff. Oh yeah, also, so we need to work on this actual material as well a little bit. So do we want it more metally? Turn the roughness down. And then that sort of messing around with this here. But yeah, you see what I'm saying? You can kind of You kind of get all that to feel like it's the same sort of shininess as the other things. And then yeah, like I said, you can go back into Photoshop and just, you know, keep updating these bits and pieces, right? Just to get whatever you want to have, you know, happening in your image. So let's do a couple little things. So go back to this layer here. Just giving some of this a bit of an edge to it as well. Could be cool. Just going to do a brightness contrast. Oops, that was not the right thing. Let's do curves. Easier. Just edge. We can also come in here. Bevel and emboss that as well. Control J, Control T, flip horizontal. Yeah, so you can really come in and throw a mix of things in here, right? Make some of that a bit darker. All right, and let's add in, put like some little hazard strips kind of down the side. To the curves, make that a bit darker. Flip that horizontal. Sorry, just duplicate it first, move it across. Go to the blending options. Yeah, and you can just keep, you know, just keep working those things up, right? Which is really, really cool. Super fun. Now just save that Photoshop file. What else I want to do? Let's get back in here. Cool. Let's just throw some more of these around. Oops, not what I want. That one. Just duplicate those. Shift D, escape, rotate 90. So just type in R, 90, G. Shift D, escape. Move those over there. Decide whether the stairs have railings or not. You know, like some stairs do, some don't. You know, can we have a piece? Maybe there's a piece that sort of sits down the side or something. I'm not sure. yeah, just sort of where that sits. Bevel on there. Yeah, keep working on that. All right, and then I'll go through and sort of like update this part here. So you can see that I made some changes here. Where are we going here? So I made some changes to this. So let's just like resave this out. Oops. We need to flatten this. Okay. Save as. And you can just resave over the top, or well, let's just save over the top, right? Okay, and go back into Blender, and we just update this one. Just come into here, into the floor details, and now. Okay, so go back to the floor texture. All right, and will this work? Let's see. I think it should do, right? So let's tab it into this and go up to the top view and hit U and project from view, and then let's go back to the UV editor. And do we have the updated one? No, we don't. Die. Yeah. There's probably some stupid way on the thing I'm missing. Let's go back here. Two. Okay, let's go back to the UV editor. Yay, got some sides on there. All right, so we're just going to go hit U and project from view. All right, and then we just do this again. A, S, G. And then, yeah, you can control, you know, whereabouts this all sits and how big it is and the scale of it, right? So I might be like, maybe I want these bits to be inside, like these light bits to be inside of the railings. Doesn't matter, I'm just saying, like, what if we did? So we could make it all a bit bigger, right? And just move that around. And now those bits will be inside the railings. Does that make sense? So you got quite a bit of control over this. Yeah, which is pretty cool. Aside from, we just need to rotate this, don't we? So rotate 180. Oops, hang on. Oh, what did I do? A, R, 180. Oh, we don't want to be like this. Hang on. Oh, that probably will work actually. Let's get you project from view. Sorry, that's me stuffing things up. A, 180 G. All right, now let's just make sure that's down the front this time. Yay. S G. All right. Cool. So yeah, so you see how you can update that stuff pretty quickly, right? Yep. Just be careful, don't make your floors like they've got stuff you can trip over everywhere on. Like just having some little raised things is cool, but not, you know, just don't go too crazy with it, all right? You can even do this, right? So I'll show you this as well, just to kind of show you. I'm not specifically going to do this with this one, I don't think, but I'll just show you because it's pretty cool, right? So you could do this, which is we can tab into this, and what do I do? Use. Sorry, I'm just going to make sure I'm in the right thing here. No, didn't think I was. Tab into that one. All right, select that face. Let's go back to the top mode. All right, then what we could do is we could actually hit the K for knife tool. Bit naughty, all right, but you can do stuff like this, right, where you can kind of cut this up with the knife tool. And like I said, just imagine that we're going to do this and then hit enter, and it does. Sometimes the knife tool is painful, but there we go. So we've got that, all right, and then you can actually extrude this, right, and it'll extrude with the texture on it, right, which is pretty cool. So you could do like that, you know, and then you could maybe S and just shrink it in a touch, and you can have it so it's like raised up a little bit, right, just so it catches, oh gosh, just so it catches the light, you know, ever so slightly over there, right? And you imagine if you do that for all of those bits, it's gonna look pretty cool. So yeah, you could do it from a mix of geo or a mix of like extruding and knife cuts and things like that, right? So yeah, that's pretty cool too. I'm just gonna undo that. All right, and maybe what I might do is make up some little like paneling sort of details as well. Let's have a look, but let's just try and get all this stuff sorted first. Tab out of that. Let's tab into these guys, because some stuff here seems kind of funky. Might need to fix that in the original. Don't know how those got a bit like skew if, but they did. Right, and maybe might even what is that bit? We'll just fix those later. There's just heaps of this one. I don't know what I did. L. So I'm just separating all these bits out. Right, let's get rid of that. Get rid of that bit, get rid of that bit. Alright. Tab into this one. Sorry, just trying to get all this sort of a bit more sorted out. Actually, maybe I just like it without that piece in there. We'll work out something else to go through the middle there. But yeah, as you can see, this is starting to come together with all these like more sort of like details, right? Which is really cool. So let's have a look. All right, what do we want to do with these stairs? Tab into this. I'm going to bevel these. Oops, let's not do it like that. Let's tab out. Go Control A, rotation scale. Oh no, can't do that. Let's tab into that one and Control A. All right. Okay, fine, be like that. So let's just how do I Alright, whatever. Control A, rotation scale. We'll just fix this in a minute. Tab, Control B. Yeah, then we get a better bevel on that, which is good. Alright, let's go out. Just fix this array back up. Okay, so 1, yeah, 0.8, something like that. Okay, cool. And yeah, that's all. They're looking pretty cool. All right, what else do I want to do? Now the problem is, like, now texture all of this stuff. You kind of got to texture everything, right? So let's make it. What do I do? Could be cool if these have like some sort of, you know, different sort of split up in the materials, which would be kind of nice. Let's go back into the material, unlink the material. Let's make them kind of darker. I think is a starting point. Maybe this one here too. Maybe we just want to make this darker as well. That's not going to make the texture darker. It's just making the rest of the kind of box darker. All right. So I'm gonna add some like maybe grip parts to the top of the stair, and we can kind of use this, right? So let's try it. Let's tab into this. All right, and then let's add that. So we're going to add a new material. We're going to select that floor details one, and we're going to go assign. All right, and it's going to look stupid. All right, but then let's go. Actually, you know what? Let's undo that. Let's undo that because I don't want it to go everywhere. Let's go. Let's go Control R. And this is what I was talking about before, where you can kind of like split up like add in more edge loops, right? So we can go Control R there. Let's go Control R on this side. We just want like these faces here. So these ones here to have the kind of like metal grating material, right? Oops, not that one. Oh, you, and just this one too, because I think that might work. Let's see. And then we're going to go to the top mode, right? Because we're always projecting it with view, so you want to do it front on. let's go floor details and then click assign, and I'll just assign it to those faces there, right? So then what we can do is we can come down to the UV set. You can kind of see what's happening, right? So this now is the UVs of this top of the stair. So we want to rotate 90. So just hit R90, G for move. We just move that around there, right? What? What just happened? I don't know. You project from view. Maybe it wasn't in the view first. A, G. Well, that looks better. I don't know what happened then. All right, cool. That looks pretty good. All right, so can you see that? So now we've got like that little grated part on all of the stairs, which is pretty cool. And obviously we can go through, maybe we can put like a little bit of hazard strip on some bits. So what do I do? Come in, so maybe on that face and that face. We want to assign that material to there, and we're going to go to the top mode, and then we're going to click U, project from view. We're going to come down here and find those bits. And you can kind of project them on top of each other if you want to. So we're just gonna, what I'm gonna do is we'll just rotate these. So rotate 90. All right, G, move it over there. All right, grab this one, and G, move that one up there somewhere. And then you get those little light hazard strip bits there. So yeah, I hope you guys can see how, like, if you follow through with this onto all of these bits and pieces, it's gonna look pretty cool, right? Let's go to different camera views and go all H. Bring all those back up. Where do we have these cameras up here? Oops, we had like this. Maybe not the best. Might need to move that railing in this camera view, but let's just sort of stick to this one for now. I think as well I think I've changed this world around. Yeah, that 0.3 or 2 or something. Yeah, and I also really want to get some kind of like little strip lighting and stuff in as well. I think that'd be cool. Still heaps of details to go. And like, this is how, so doing a lot of this is how I'll start to get details like on the, turn that fog off, is how I'll get details like on the door, you know, and all of these elements here, right? So you can really take them from that, you know, kind of flat 3D basic, you know, low geometry kind of look to being quite detailed, right? Just from kind of adding these like little UV textures that you can build in Photoshop really quickly. Yeah, and have like lots of fun in the process of doing it. Okay, so let's keep going. I'm just going to mirror this because that looks weird. All right, Control M, X. That's better. Might just move that across a teeny tiny bit. All right. Cool. All right. I'm just looking at all these other things that I've changed in areas that I need to kind of fix. All right. Let's just add a little bit of geo in some of these spots here. I think would be kind of cool. Shift A, mesh, cube. Let's go Control A, rotation scale, tab in, Control B. Bevel these little bits here, that's cool. Like I said, just never want to have these things so that they look like you're gonna just completely roll your ankle on this stuff. Just keeping it kind of subtle. Oops. Maybe hiding the roof. Just want to link that to that material. Let's go into materials. Just remove that. Hang on, let's unlink it first, then just remove that material from there. All right, cool. All right, and I might make this. Actually, let's try that. That one potentially. So you can change all of those. It is, but that's okay. Yeah, I was just thinking about adding in some sort of like little edge kind of pieces to some of this. Maybe. Maybe. Alright, scale that. Just to kind of tie some of this together between like the 2D and the 3D. Rotating it. You guys are getting the idea now. Hopefully some of you guys are following along and creating your own cool stuff. Do a quick little move around. Like that. Guess if I click, oh, no. Just want to scale all of these. Ugh. Come on. That's cool. Sweet. That's looking good. And then let's grab all these. Oh. There's a light there. We don't want the light, we just want that. And that. And that. And then let's join all these together. Ah. Undo. That's you. Oh. Undo. All right, Control J. Okay, Shift D, escape, Control M, and flip it on the X. So you just hit X, mirror them. Maybe go back to the top view. Looks pretty good. Pretty close. Let's go back to this one. Oh, man. Yeah, I joined all those. Tab in. L. Shift D. Escape. Yeah, and just adding like a few little edges and borders to things. Don't know if we need that. Get rid of that one. Cool. Just separating that out again. Right click, set origin, set over. Yeah, and just keep going through. But like I said, one of the things that you do is like really look up your references, look at sci-fi stuff, you know, try and build that shape language, you know, so you can do things like this in Photoshop where you can just kind of like design these shapes, you know, make them look really cool and sci-fi, and then you can just keep going back to this and making it, you know, better and more detailed and all that kind of stuff. That's the same way that I did that. I'll do a lot of stuff like this. It's the same way I did these sort of things. Right, so I'm just going to Photoshop and, you know, putting all these bits and pieces together, and then you can really yeah, you can really deck out your Blender scenes, right, which is very cool. So you might even want to do that for some of like the wall, you know, details and stuff as well, like where everything. So you just think about where you have all those like sort of blank surfaces. Just where you have, yeah, some of those blank surfaces, right? And you can really kind of offset them pretty quickly by doing this. It doesn't always have to be things you're designing up in Photoshop. It could just be other textures. You can go to textures.com and you can download like a whole bunch of really good tileable textures from there, which is great. Yeah, and the more you do that, the more it will like start to really flesh out the scene. We need to get in and work on these work on this main sort of focal point, the door, and I'll be adding in all little decals and, you know, warning bits and pieces and all that kind of stuff, which would be pretty cool. Yeah, and then I've got my little curves thing here, which, you know, maybe not that dark, but you know. Anyway, we can muck around with that. Yeah, but I think that's pretty cool, heading in a good direction now. Yeah, we'll keep going next week and keep just fleshing out, you know, these details and making it, you know, as cool as possible as we can. All right, so yeah, I think we'll call that it for today, and yeah, I'll see you guys again next week. Okay.